Hello there, and welcome to the HistSleep channel. Tonight, we are going to shrink our world and the rise and fall of empires to witness the beginning of a very quiet and very comfortable life. It is the story of a journey not across oceans, but across a living room floor. It is the history of a small heartbeat finding its home inside a wicker basket. Before we settle into the warmth of this story, if you find comfort in these quiet moments, please consider subscribing to the channel. Give this video a gentle like to help it find others who need rest, and perhaps leave a comment below telling me what small sound brings you the most peace at night. Is it the rain or the hum of a fan? Your support is the soft blanket that keeps this channel warm. Now, let us begin. Take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and let it out slowly. Close your eyes. Let your shoulders drop. Imagine darkness. Not a scary darkness, but a warm, safe, and enclosed darkness. You are small, very small. Your world is currently defined by 4 curved walls made of woven willow. You are inside a wicker basket. The air inside is still and slightly warm, holding the scent of dried wood and a soft, fleece blanket. Underneath you, the floor of the basket is not flat, but textured. Through the thick folds of the towel you are resting on, you can feel the ridges of the wicker weave. It is a steady, rhythmic pattern, a landscape of bumps and valleys that presses gently against your side. For the last hour, the world has been moving. There has been a hum, a low, vibrating drone of an engine that you could feel in your bones, more than you could hear with your ears. The basket has been swaying, gently rocking back and forth, like a boat on a calm lake. Every now and then, a rhythmic thump-thump, thump-thump of tires on pavement would travel up through the seat of the car, through the bottom of the basket, and into your paws. It was a lullaby of motion. A promise that you were going somewhere, even if you didn't know where. But now, the vibration has stopped. The low drone of the engine has cut out, replaced by a sudden, heavy silence. The swaying has ceased. The basket is still. You lift your small head, blinking in the dim light that filters through the tiny gaps in the wicker weave. Through those little pinholes, you can see fragments of light, shifting shadows, but nothing clear. You are waiting. Then comes the sound. The heavy thud of a car door closing. It is a muffled sound, dull and distant, as if coming from another world. Then, footsteps. Crunching on gravel? Or perhaps, softly stepping on pavement. You feel the basket lift. Gravity shifts. You slide just an inch backwards, your claws instinctively extending to grip the soft loops of the towel. You are airborne now. Floating. Carried by a giant. The walk is rhythmic. Step, 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 step. You can hear the faint sound of wind outside, a whistling breeze that brushes against the side of the basket. But inside, you are protected. You are a secret, wrapped in willow. There is a click. The sound of a key sliding into a lock. The turning of a tumbler, click, clack. A squeak of hinges, followed by a change in the air. The air that drifts in through the wicker gaps suddenly changes. It is no longer the crisp, cold air of the outside. It is warmer. Stiller. It smells different. It smells of old paper, lemon polish, and dry heat. You have entered the house. The footsteps continue, but they sound different now. No longer the hard strike against pavement, but a soft, muted thud against wood, and then silence. The footsteps disappear entirely, replaced by a soft feeling underneath the basket. You are being lowered. Down, down, down. The basket touches the ground with a whisper. It doesn't clatter. It lands softly, cushioned. You are on a carpet. The movement stops completely. The world is stationary again. You wait. Your ears, large and triangular, swivel towards the top of the basket. You can hear breathing. A slow, heavy breathing of the human standing above you. You can hear the distant hum of a refrigerator cycling on in another room. A very faint, electric buzz. And then, the fingers. You hear skin brushing against the wicker. Fumbling for the latch. A metallic snap echoes inside your small chamber. The tension in the lid releases. Slowly, incredibly slowly, the roof of your world begins to lift. First, a crack of light. It is a beam of afternoon sun, cutting through the opening, illuminating the floating dust motes that dance in the air. The light is golden, thick, and syrupy. As the lid opens fully, the light floods in, washing over the white fleece towel and warming your fur. You blink. Your pupils narrow, adjusting to the brightness. You look up. Way up. There is a face. A human face, smiling, framed by the light of the ceiling fixture. A hand reaches in, large, but gentle. It doesn't grab you. It just rests there, on the towel, palm open. An invitation. You hesitate. The basket is safe. The basket is known. The walls are close and protect your back. Why would you leave? But the curiosity, that ancient instinct, buried deep in your DNA, begins to wake up. You stretch your neck forward. Your pink nose twitches. Sniff, sniff, sniff. You smell the hand. It smells of soap and salt. You smell the air beyond the basket. It smells of wool and dust and something floral. Slowly, you rise. Your legs are wobbly, uncertain. You step over the large hand, ignoring it for now. Your focus is on the edge. The rim of the basket. It is a high wall for someone so small. You place 2 white paws on the rim. The wicker feels rough and cool against your pads. You pull yourself up, peering over the edge, like an explorer looking out over a vast, new canyon. The living room. It is immense. To you, it is not a room. It is a continent. The floor stretches out for miles, covered in a beige carpet that looks like a field of tall, twisted grass. In the distance, there are mountains. A giant, gray sofa blocking the horizon. A wooden coffee table standing on 4 massive legs, like the trees of an ancient forest. The light in the room is calm. It is late afternoon. The sun is coming through a window, casting long, rectangular shapes onto the floor. The silence is heavy, but peaceful. There is no danger here. No sudden movements. Just the slow drift of time. You decide to disembark. You move one paw from the rim and reach down toward the carpet. It is a long way down, perhaps 3 inches. You lean forward, letting gravity take you. You tumble, softly landing on the carpet. It is softer than you expected. Your paws sink into the fibers. It feels strange. Unstable, yet comforting. You stand there, all 4 paws on this new terrain. You look back at the basket. It sits there, like a spaceship that has landed. It is your base. But you are now outside. You take your first step. Then another. Your belly is low to the ground, almost brushing the carpet. You are in stealth mode, cautious, alert. You walk towards the leg of the coffee table. It is dark wood, smelling of varnish. You sniff the wood. It is cold. Smooth. You rub your cheek against it, leaving a tiny, invisible mark. Mine, you whisper, in a language only you understand. You continue your patrol. You pass under the table. It is darker here, a shadowy cave. You feel safe in the shadows. You look out from under the table, watching the human. The human has sat down on the gray mountain, the sofa. They are watching you. Quietly. Still. They understand that you need this time. This time to map, this time to measure. You move towards the window. The light is stronger here. You can feel the heat radiating from the patch of sunlight on the carpet. You step into the light. The warmth hits your fur, penetrating deep to your skin. It feels wonderful. You pause in the sunbeam. The dust motes are swirling around you, colliding with your whiskers. You watch one slowly float down and land on the carpet. You bat at it with a lazy paw. It vanishes. The journey has been long. The car ride, the basket, the landing, the exploration. A heaviness begins to settle behind your eyes. Your eyelids feel heavy like lead curtains. You look at the sunbeam. It looks like a perfect place, a perfect warm island, in this sea of carpet. You circle the spot. Once. Twice. 3 times. Examining it for lumps. Checking for safety. It is perfect. You collapse. Not falling, but melting. Your legs fold underneath you. Your tail wraps around your nose, creating a closed circle. A complete loop. You let out a long, soft sigh. H. The carpet is warm. The air is still. The smell of the new house is already becoming familiar. You can hear the human turning a page of a book, a soft swish of paper. It is a good sound. A safe sound. Your breathing slows down. Your small chest rises and falls in time with the slow ticking of a clock on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The basket is still there, open, waiting. But for now, this sunbeam is your home. The darkness of sleep begins to creep in at the edges of your vision. Not the darkness of the basket, but the darkness of rest. The darkness of dreams. You are safe. You are home. And the long winter outside feels very, very far away. Sleep now, little explorer. Sleep. We are drifting deeper into the quiet world, of our small companion. The basket has been left behind. The initial sleep has ended. Now begins the silent work of understanding the world. The room is vast. To human eyes, it is just a living room. Just a collection of wood and fabric and glass. But to the small creature, standing on the edge of the woven rug, it is a new continent. A landscape that must be learned inch by inch. He stands, with 4 paws planted firmly on the beige carpet. The fibers are thick here. Twisted loops of wool that feel uneven and soft beneath his pads. He lifts one front paw, curling the toes slightly, testing the grip. It is a stable surface. A good surface for running or gripping. He lowers his head. The nose, wet and cool, begins its work. The air here, close to the floor, tells a different story than the air above. He smells the faint chemical scent of carpet cleaner from a month ago. He smells the dry earth that fell from a shoe. He smells the lingering ghost of a pine log that burned in the fireplace last winter. He takes a step forward. His movement is fluid. There is no sound. His shoulder blades rise and fall under the soft gray fur like pistons in a well-oiled machine. He is heading towards the great gray wall. The wall is the side of the sofa. It rises up, high above his head, blocking the light from the window. The fabric is different here. It is not soft wool. It is a rough, textured weave. He approaches it cautiously. He extends his neck, whiskers twitching forward. The whiskers are his sensors. They measure distance. They tell him he is close. He rubs his cheek against the corner of the sofa. A slow, deliberate slide from the corner of his mouth to the base of his ear. He pushes hard, leaving a scent mark. An invisible flag. This, the scent says, is mine. He does it again. Rubbing. Claiming. Making the strange object a familiar friend. He moves along the length of the sofa. Down here, at floor level, there is a gap. A dark, narrow opening between the bottom of the sofa and the floor. It is a cave entrance. He stops. He crouches low. His belly fur brushes the carpet. He peers into the darkness. Under the sofa, the light is dim and gray. Dust motes hang suspended in the still air. He sees the wooden legs of the couch standing like pillars in a dark temple. He crawls forward, dragging his body into the shadow. The air is cooler here. It smells of old wood and secrets. He crawls past a lost object. A small, blue button. It lies there, forgotten by the humans. He sniffs it. It smells of plastic. It does not smell of food. It does not smell of life. He ignores it. He reaches the center of the underworld. Here, the silence is absolute. The heavy cushions above muffle all sound from the room. He feels safe here, protected by a roof of foam and fabric. He rolls over onto his side. Just for a moment. Looking at the underside of the sofa, the black fabric stapled to the wood. This is the hidden map, the side of the world that only he knows. He slides out from the other side, emerging back into the light. The terrain changes now. The carpet ends. There is a metal strip, a gold-colored threshold that marks the border. Beyond it lies the hardwood. He approaches the transition. He places one paw on the wood. It is cold, slick, polished. He hesitates. The wood offers no grip. It is a fast surface, a slippery surface. He steps onto it with all four paws. Tick, tick, tick. His claws make contact. A tiny sound echoing in the hallway. He pauses. He dislikes the sound. He retracts his claws fully, pulling them deep into their sheaths. He adjusts his weight, walking only on the soft, leather pads of his feet. The sound stops. He is a ghost again. He walks down the hallway. To his left, a tall white door. It is closed. He sniffs the gap at the bottom. A draft of cold air hits his nose. It smells of damp towels and peppermint soap. The bathroom. He pushes his nose against the wood. The door does not move. It is a barrier. A mystery to be solved later. He continues. To his right, a bookshelf. The bottom shelf is within his reach. He inspects it. Rows of books. Paper spines standing like soldiers. He sniffs the paper. It smells of vanilla and glue. He rubs his cheek against the sharp corner of a hardcover book, marking it, claiming knowledge. He reaches the end of the hallway. The kitchen. The floor changes again. Tiles. Cool, ceramic, stone-like tiles. The smell here is overwhelming. It is a symphony of scents. Roasted chicken from last night. Coffee grounds in the bin. Dish soap. Toast. He walks carefully. The kitchen is dangerous. There are chairs with legs that move. There are high counters where the humans do their work. He stays low. He walks along the baseboards, hugging the wall. This is his path. The perimeter route. He finds the water bowl. It is there, in the corner. A familiar ceramic dish. The water is still. A perfect mirror. He lowers his head. He laps the water. Lap, lap, lap. The sound is rhythmic. Hypnotic. The water is cool and fresh. It resets him. He turns around. The exploration is enough, for now. The map is expanding in his mind. The carpet plains, warm and grippy. The sofa cave, dark and safe. The hardwood canyon, slippery and echoing. The tile kitchen, rich with smells. He walks back, towards the living room. He moves with more confidence now. He knows where the grip is. He knows where the shadows are. He returns to the center of the rug. The sun has moved. The light has shifted to the arm of the armchair. He looks up at it. It is a high place. A watchtower. He crouches. He wiggles his hindquarters, preparing the muscles, calculating the distance. 1, 2, 3. Jump. He lands softly on the arm of the chair. He wobbles just for a second, then finds his balance. He is high up now. He can see the whole room. The floor where he just walked looks different from here. He is the ruler, surveying his kingdom. He lies down, folding his front paws under his chest. The loaf position. He is compact, warm. His eyes slowly start to close. He watches the dust motes dancing in the shaft of light. They drift slowly, endlessly. The house is quiet. The refrigerator hums. A clock ticks. Tick, tock. The map is drawn. The territory is safe. There are no monsters here. Only furniture. And smells. And peace. He rests his chin on his paws. His breathing slows. Deep, rhythmic breaths. The exploration has become a dream. The map of the territory has been drawn. The house is known. But the house is not static. It changes. It moves. Not with the noise of engines, but with the silent, sweeping rotation of the earth itself. For the human, time is measured in numbers. It is measured by the digital glow of a microwave clock, or the ticking hands on the wall. But for the small, furred resident of this kingdom, time is not a number. Time is a shape. Time is a temperature. Time is the sunbeam. The day begins with the east window. The morning air inside the house is cool. The thermostat has not yet kicked in. The shadows are long and blue. But then the first signal arrives. A single, sharp rectangle of light pierces through the blinds. It strikes the carpet near the bookshelf. It is a perfect, geometric shape. Bright, intense, and inviting. The cat, currently resting on the arm of the sofa, opens one eye. He sees the signal. The morning station has opened. He stretches a long, trembling extension of his spine and jumps down. Thump. He walks towards the patch of light. To us, it is just light. To him, it is a physical object. It is a pool of warmth in a cold ocean. He steps into it. Immediately, the temperature of his fur rises. The cold of the night evaporates. He circles the rectangle. It is small right now, barely large enough to contain his whole body. He has to curl tight. He tucks his nose under his tail. He pulls his paws in. He fits himself perfectly inside the geometry of the light. He is a puzzle piece, finding his place. He closes his eyes. He does not sleep, not yet. He meditates on the warmth. He feels the sun penetrating the thick gray fur, reaching the skin, warming the blood. It is a recharge. A silent battery, filling up. An hour passes. The house is silent, save for the settling of the walls. But the earth has turned. The sun has climbed higher in the sky outside. And inside, the rectangle has moved. It has slid 2 feet to the right. It is no longer a rectangle. It has stretched, becoming a long, slanted parallelogram. The cat wakes up. He feels a cold draft on his back. He realizes the blanket of light has slipped off him. He is lying halfway in the shadow. This is unacceptable. He does not get up. That would require too much energy. Instead, he performs the shuffle. Keeping his eyes closed, he drags his body across the carpet. He pulls himself with his front claws, sliding his weight back into the center of the light. He adjusts. He sighs. H. He is back in sync with the clock. It is now midday. High noon. The sun has moved from the side window to the large glass patio doors. The light is no longer a small patch. It is a flood. A massive square of brilliance covering the hardwood floor and the edge of the dining rug. The light is different now. It is whiter, hotter. It reveals the world in high definition. The cat is there, lying on his side, fully stretched out. Exposed. Vulnerable, yet completely safe. In this bright light, you can see millions of tiny dust motes. They float in the air above him, swirling in the heat currents rising from his body. He watches them. Through half-closed lids, he watches the galaxy of dust. They are stars in his personal sky. He reaches out a paw lazily. He swipes at a speck of dust. It dances away. He lets his paw fall back onto the warm wood. The wood is hot to the touch. It feels like a heated stone in a summer garden. He rolls onto his back, showing his belly to the sun. This is the peak of the day. The warmth is absolute. There are no shadows here, only the golden glow. His ears, usually cool, are now hot. Thin and translucent, the sun shines right through them, turning them a deep, glowing pink. You can see the tiny veins, the map of life, inside his ears. He is in a trance. The world outside, the birds, the cars, the wind, does not exist. There is only the heat. He is melting into the floor, becoming one with the house. Time drifts on. The afternoon begins to wane. The sunbeam begins to weaken. It starts to travel, faster now. It moves across the floor, climbing up the legs of the coffee table. The cat senses the shift. The intensity of the heat drops. The light turns from white to a rich, deep gold. The golden hour has arrived. He stands up. He stretches again, arching his back high, pushing his shoulder blades together. He yawns, showing his teeth. The nap on the floor is over. The light is leaving the floor. It is seeking higher ground. He follows it. He jumps up onto the back of the sofa. The sun is low now, coming in horizontally. It strikes the top of the sofa cushions, creating a narrow, warm ridge. He walks along this ridge, balancing carefully. He finds the spot where the light hits the fabric. He lies down, perched high like a lion on a rock. The light here is orange. It paints his gray fur with copper tones. He looks at the wall opposite him. He sees his own shadow. It is huge. A giant, long-necked cat projected onto the wallpaper. He watches his shadow. He twitches an ear. The shadow ear twitches. He is watching the day end. The final phase. Twilight. The sunbeam is now just a sliver. A thin line of light clinging to the very top of the curtain rod. It is out of reach. The cat sits on the sofa, watching it go. The floor is gray. The walls are gray. The heat is fading from the furniture. The air begins to cool down. The sunbeam clock has finished its rotation. He looks around the room. The atmosphere has changed. The sleepy, heavy feeling of the afternoon sun is replaced by a new energy. The blue hour. His pupils, which were tiny slits in the bright sun, now expand. They become large, black circles. Taking in the dim light. He jumps down from the sofa. Thump. He walks to the window one last time. He presses his nose against the glass. It is cold. The outside world is blue and dark. A street lamp flickers on down the road. The sun is gone. The battery is charged. The day of resting is over. Now begins the night. The time for hunting. Or perhaps hunting for snacks. The time for patrolling. He turns his back on the window. He walks into the shadows of the hallway. His tail is held high. A question mark in the dark. The clock has stopped. But the king is awake. To the quiet observation of the world inside. We have explored the map. We have chased the sun. But now we find ourselves in the deepest part of the night. Or rather, the very edge of the morning. The house is at its coldest. The furnace has been sleeping for hours. The windows are dark, pressing against the black air of the outside world. Inside, the silence is heavy. It is a thick, velvet silence. The kind of silence that you can feel in your ears. Our small companion is awake. He is lying at the foot of the bed. A curled, warm weight on the duvet. His eyes are open, glowing faintly in the dark. He is waiting. He knows the rhythm of this house better than the clocks do. He knows that the shift is coming. It starts with a sound from the bedside table. A click. A soft, electronic beep. Then the shifting of weight. The mattress springs, groan softly under the movement of the giant. The human is waking up. The cat stands up. He stretches, digging his claws gently into the thick comforter. A morning greeting. He waits for the feet. The human's feet touch the floor. Thump. The day has officially begun. He jumps down, landing silently on the carpet. He leads the way. He is the scout, the guide through the dark hallway. His tail is up, a vertical line, guiding the sleepy human towards the heart of the house. Towards the kitchen. They cross the threshold from the soft carpet to the hard, cold tile. The kitchen is freezing. The air here feels crisp. It smells of last night's dish soap and the steel of the sink. Then, the light. Click. The overhead fluorescent bulb flickers once, twice, and then hums to life. It is a harsh, blue-white light. The cat blinks, squinting against the sudden glare. He sits down on the small, woven rug in front of the sink. It is the only island of warmth on the cold floor. He wraps his tail around his paws. And he watches. He watches the ritual of the machine. On the counter sits the black tower. To the human, it is a coffee maker. To the cat, it is a beast. A sleeping dragon that must be fed water and dust every single morning. The human moves slowly, heavy-footed, groggy. They reach for the glass vessel. The carafe. It slides out, glass scraping against plastic. The sound echoes, sharp, in the empty kitchen. The water is turned on. Whoosh. A sudden, rushing stream. The cat's ears swivel back. He listens to the pitch of the water, changing as the glass fills up. Low to high. Glug, glug, glug. The water stops. The human pours the water into the back of the black tower. A splash is sound, like a miniature waterfall. The beast is being hydrated. Then, the bag. The crinkle of the foil bag. Crinkle, snap, pop. It is a loud sound. Sharp and metallic. The bag opens. And the smell hits. It is a strong, dark smell. Earthy. Bitter. Burnt. The cat wrinkles his nose. He does not like this smell. It is too intense. Too chemical. But he knows it is necessary. It is the fuel that wakes the giant. The dark powder is scooped into the top of the tower. Scrape, tap, tap. The lid is closed. Snap. And then, the finger. The human's finger presses the button. Click. A red light glows like a single, unblinking eye on the face of the machine. The human steps back, leaning against the counter. Waiting. The cat waits too. For a moment, there is nothing. Just the hum of the refrigerator. And the red eye, staring. But deep inside the machine, something is happening. The alchemy has begun. First, a rumble. A low, internal vibration. If you put your paw on the counter, you could feel it. A shuddering deep within the plastic casing. The water is boiling. The energy is building. Then, the first sound. A gurgle. Bloop. It sounds like a bubble bursting in a swamp. Then another. Bloop, gurgle. The water is climbing. Fighting gravity. Moving up the tubes, hot and angry. Then, the hiss. HSSSSSSSSSS. The steam is escaping. A white wisp of vapor curls up from the top of the machine. It dances in the cold air, disappearing near the ceiling. The cat watches the steam. It looks like a ghost. And finally, the drop. The first drop of black liquid falls into the glass pot. Drip. Hiss. It hits the hot plate at the bottom. A sizzle. The smell intensifies. It fills the kitchen. A heavy, roasted cloud. The rhythm accelerates. Drip, 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 drip. It becomes a steady stream. A dark, thin river. The machine is working hard now. It is groaning. A mechanical wheeze. Air grug. It sounds like it is struggling. like it is climbing a hill. The cat stays perfectly still. His eyes are locked on the dripping liquid. It is hypnotic. The dark level rises inch by inch. Swirling. Steaming. The noise is a comfort. It is a white noise. A barrier against the silence of the morning. It means the house is alive. It means the routine is safe. The human moves. They reach for a mug. Ceramic clinking on wood. They open the drawer. The utensil drawer. Jingle, rattle. The sound of metal spoons hitting each other. To the cat, this is the secondary signal. The spoon means stirring. But the spoon also means the can. His attention shifts. He stands up. He leaves the warm rug. He walks to the cupboard. The food cupboard. He sits down in front of it. He looks at the human. He makes a sound. Not a loud meow, but a soft, creaky trill. MRRP? The machine is awake, he says. Now, what about me? But the machine is not done. It has one final performance. The water is almost gone. The reservoir is empty. The machine lets out a final, dramatic gasp. Gurg. A loud, sputtering cough. The last drops are forced out. The red light stays on, keeping the vessel warm. But the noise stops. Silence returns. But it is a different silence now. It is a warm silence. The kitchen is warmer. The heat from the machine radiates out, cutting through the chill. The human pours the liquid. Steam rises from the cup. They take a sip. They sigh. Ah! The giant is awake. The spell is complete. Now, the human looks down. They see the small, gray figure sitting by the cupboard. They smile. Okay, Augie, they whisper. Your turn. The hand reaches for the can. The metallic pop-top sound echoes. The smell of wet food, savory and rich, overpowers the smell of the coffee. This is the true morning. The plate is set down. Clink. The cat approaches. He does not rush. He is dignified. He sniffs the food. He begins to eat. Smack, smack, smack. The human stands there, holding the warm mug, leaning against the counter, watching him eat. For a moment, there is just this. The warmth of the coffee, the warmth of the cat, and the quiet, gray light of dawn beginning to break through the kitchen window. The morning machine has done its job. The day has begun. The morning rush has long since faded. The coffee machine is cold and silent. The human has retreated to a desk in another room, the sound of typing, a distant, rhythmic clatter, like quiet rain. The house has settled into the long, stretched-out hours of the mid-afternoon. Our explorer, having filled his belly and groomed his fur, now seeks entertainment. He has moved to the west window. This is his television, his cinema, his lookout tower. He sits on the narrow, white ledge. His tail hangs down, swaying slightly like a pendulum, keeping time with thoughts we cannot hear. The glass in front of him is cool. It is a solid, invisible shield separating the controlled climate of the indoors from the chaotic, breezy world of the garden. Usually, the view is peaceful. A squirrel running across the fence. A red cardinal landing on a branch. But today, there is an intruder. It begins with a tiny vibration. On the other side of the glass, trapped between the window and the wire mesh screen, is a visitor. A moth. A miller moth. Gray and dusty and frantic. The cat sees it instantly. He was looking at the trees, but the sudden, erratic movement in the corner of his eye triggers the ancient machinery inside his brain. The hunter has awoken. He does not pounce. Not yet. He freezes. He becomes a statue carved from gray stone. The only movement is the tip of his ears swiveling forward, locking onto the target. And his eyes. Those golden eyes, wide and lazy just a moment ago, now undergo a transformation. The pupils expand. They swallow the gold, turning into large, black pools of focus. He is taking in every photon of light. He is calculating distance, speed, and trajectory. The moth is confused. It flutters against the glass. BZZZT. Tap. BZZZT. It is a chaotic dance. The moth wants to come in, drawn by the dark quiet of the house. But the glass says no. The cat shifts his weight. He brings his hind legs underneath him. He coils his muscles like a steel spring. He lowers his head, keeping his chin almost touching the windowsill. He makes a sound. It is not a meow. It is not a growl. It is a strange, clicking noise. Ek 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 ek. A rapid, staccato chatter. It is the sound of frustration. The sound of a predator who can see the prey but cannot reach it. His jaw trembles. Ek ek ek. He is talking to the moth, telling it of the fate it is narrowly avoiding. The moth, oblivious, crawls up the glass. It moves slowly now, revealing the underside of its wings. They are patterned intricate, like a faded map of an old forest. The cat watches the wings move. Up, down. Up, down. He cannot take it anymore. The instinct is too strong. He lifts one paw. A white, velvet glove. He presses it against the glass. Thump. The glass is cold and slippery. He drags his paw down. Squeak. A tiny, rubbery sound of pads against the pane. The moth flies up. Startled by the giant shadow, the cat rises. He stands on his hind legs. He stretches his long, gray body up the length of the window. He looks like a person peering out. He pats the glass again. Tap tap. Tap tap. He is trying to catch the shadow. He is trying to touch the ghost. But there is no texture. Only the smooth, hard barrier. The moth is just an inch away, separated by a quarter-inch of double-paned glass. The cat can see the dust on the moth's antenna. He can see the tiny, fuzzy legs gripping the screen. It is so close. It is tantalizing. He leans his forehead against the glass, resting his weight there. He looks at the moth, eye to compound eye. The moth stops moving. It rests on the screen. The cat stops moving. He rests on the glass. For a long moment, they are frozen together. The hunter and the hunted, separated by the wall that humans built. The adrenaline begins to fade. The cat realizes, slowly, that this battle cannot be won. The laws of physics are against him. The invisible wall is undefeated. He slowly lowers himself back down to the sill. His front paws land softly. He is still watching the moth, but the black pools in his eyes begin to shrink. The gold returns. The intensity dials down. The moth, sensing the danger has passed, or perhaps just caught by a breeze, flutters once more. Bzzzt. And then lifts off. It flies up and away, disappearing into the green canopy of the garden. The spot on the glass is empty. The cat stares at the empty spot for a long time, waiting for it to return. He swipes the glass one last time, just in case. Swish. Nothing. He lets out a short, breathy sigh through his nose. HHHHFF. He looks at his paw. He licks it, smoothing down the fur that was ruffled by the excitement. He is cleaning away the defeat. He is pretending that he never really wanted the moth anyway. It was just a game. A trifle. He turns away from the window. The bright light outside is too much work. The excitement has been exhausting. He looks back into the room. The sofa is waiting. The shadow under the chair is waiting. He jumps down from the sill. Thump. He walks across the carpet. His tail is low. He is no longer the hunter. He is just a house cat again. He finds a spot on the rug where the texture is rough and good for scratching. He digs his claws in. Rear up, stretching his back, releasing the last of the tension. Then he collapses. He flops onto his side. The battle is over. The warrior needs to rest. The house is quiet again. The typing in the other room stops. The refrigerator kicks off. There is only silence, and the slow, rhythmic breathing of a cat who fought the glass and called it a draw. The afternoon light has shifted across the floor and faded into the gray onset of early evening. The house is quiet again. The battle with the moth is a distant memory. The nap that followed has restored the energy in the muscles and the curiosity in the mind. He stands now in the center of the kitchen. The tile floor is cool, but the air above him carries a scent that pulls at his instincts. It is the smell of the preparation. The phantom sense of chopped meat, of buttered toast, of cheese unwrapped hours ago. These smells do not come from the floor. They drift down from the high places, from the forbidden zone. He looks up. Above him looms the edge of the countertop. To us, it is merely a workspace. a slab of polished granite. But to him it is a cliff face, a sheer, vertical wall rising 3 feet into the air. It is the plateau of the giants. He knows the rules. The ancient law of the house is clear. 4 paws on the floor. Whenever he is caught up there, the result is always the same. A sharp clap of hands. A loud voice saying, "Down," and the humiliating retreat. But right now, the giants are gone. The room is empty. The silence is an invitation. The law feels flexible when no one is watching. He approaches the cabinets. He paces back and forth, measuring the height. He stops. He looks up at the overhang of the stone. He sits, gathering his focus. The preparation for the jump is a science. He does not just leap. He calculates. He wiggles his hindquarters, digging his back feet into the small rug for traction. His pupils widen. He is visualizing the trajectory. He is visualizing the landing. And then, with no sound, energy releases. Uncoil. He defies gravity. A blur of gray fur shooting upwards. He lands. It is not a heavy landing. It is the landing of a feather. All 4 paws touch the stone at the exact same moment. He crouches instantly, belly pressed flat against the surface. He freezes. He is up. He has breached the perimeter. The sensation here is entirely different from the floor. The granite is freezing. It is a deep, geological cold that seeps instantly into his chest and paws. It is smooth, polished like ice. There is no texture here. No friction. He waits, ears swiveling back and forth, listening for the footstep, listening for the creak of the stairs. Silence. The coast is clear. He rises slowly, staying low in a stalking position. He begins to walk across the plateau. The view from here is magnificent. He is now at eye level with the handles of the refrigerator. He can see the top of the kitchen table. He looks down at the floor where he just stood. It looks miles away. He feels powerful. He is tall. He moves towards the sink. It is a vast, stainless steel basin. A silver lake. He peeks over the edge. There are no dishes today. Just the metal grate and the dark drain. He sniffs the air above the sink. It smells damp. It smells of water and soap and something organic. He walks around the faucet. The chrome reflects his face. Distorted. Long. Strange. He taps the handle of the faucet with one paw. Clink. It is metal. Cold and hard. He wonders if water will come out. It does not. He continues his patrol. He must step carefully. The surface is slippery. If he moves too fast, his paws will slide, and the noise of his claws scrabbling will give him away. So he moves like smoke. He finds the cutting board. It is a block of wood resting on the stone. He steps onto it. The wood is warmer, softer, and the smell is intense. He presses his nose into the grain of the wood. Chicken. It was here yesterday. The ghost of the bird remains in the fibers. He licks the wood tentatively. Just a taste of the memory of food. It is salty. It is forbidden. It is delicious. Next to the board is the toaster. A shiny chrome box. He dislikes this object. It smells of burnt crumbs. And sometimes it makes a loud, terrifying pop sound. He gives it a wide berth. He walks around it, eyeing it suspiciously, ensuring it does not wake up. He reaches the far end of the counter. The fruit bowl. A wire basket holding strange round shapes. Apples. Oranges. A banana. He approaches an apple. He sniffs it. It smells waxy. Sweet, but not meat. He nudges it with his nose. The apple rocks. Wobble, wobble. He taps it with a paw. The apple rolls slightly. The wire basket squeaks. Eek. He freezes. His heart rate spikes. That was a sound. A loud sound. He turns his head, looking towards the hallway. Did they hear? He stays statuesque for 10 seconds. 20 seconds. The refrigerator hums. The house settles. No footsteps. He exhales. He moves away from the fruit. It is too risky. These round objects are traps. They want to roll. They want to fall. And if they fall, the game is over. He walks to the edge of the counter. The precipice. He looks down at the floor again. Being up here feels like being a god. But it is a lonely place. It is cold. And there is no place to sleep. The stone is too hard for resting. This is a place for hunting. For scavenging. Not for living. He finds one last treasure. A twist tie. A small, red piece of wire and paper from a bread bag. It is lying near the microwave. He paws at it. It slides across the smooth stone. Fast. Like a hockey puck on ice. He chases it. Forgetting himself for a moment. Slide, pounce. Slide, catch. He bites it, tossing it in the air. It lands with a tiny tick. And then, thump. A sound from upstairs. A real sound. The sound of a door closing. Then, footsteps. Heavy. Coming towards the stairs. The spell is broken. The adventure is over. The giants are returning. He does not panic. He is a professional. He leaves the twist tie. He abandons the high ground. He flows towards the edge. He looks down, spotting his landing zone. The rug. He leans forward. Gravity takes him back. He drops. It is a silent fall. The air rushes past his ears. Poof. He lands on the rug. The impact is absorbed by his shoulders. He instantly stands up. He walks 3 steps away from the kitchen. He sits down in the hallway. He lifts a leg. He begins to groom his tail. When the human walks into the kitchen 10 seconds later, the room is empty. The counter is clear. The twist tie is lying on the floor, mysteriously moved, but otherwise everything is perfect. The human looks at the cat. The cat looks at the human. Meow. He says softly, "I have been here, cleaning my tail, for hours." The secret remains safe. The plateau waits for another day. The excitement fades into the evening. The heart rate slows down. The cold of the granite is replaced by the warmth of the carpet. He is grounded again. He is safe. The peace of the morning has been broken. The sunbeam, which was providing such a gentle warmth, has been abandoned. The countertop expedition is forgotten. The mood in the house has shifted. It begins not with a sound, but with a feeling. A change in the air pressure. A change in the human's movement. Usually, the human moves with a slow, predictable rhythm. Coffee, sofa, book. But now, the movement is brisk, purposeful. There is a specific energy that signals disruption. The cat knows this energy. It is the energy of cleaning. He is sitting in the middle of the hallway, alert. His ears are swiveling, tracking the human's path. The human is walking towards the door. Not the bathroom door. Not the bedroom door. But the narrow white door at the end of the hall. The closet. This door is usually closed. It is a sealed chamber. But behind it sleeps the enemy. The beast. The cat watches. His muscles tense. He stops blinking. The human reaches out. The hand grasps the brass knob. Click. Squeak. The door opens. A dark, rectangular maw is revealed. And there it is, standing upright in the shadows. The monster. To the human, it is a vacuum cleaner. A purple plastic cylinder with a long hose. But to the cat, it is a dormant dragon. A creature that eats air and screams. It has no eyes. Only a long, ribbed neck. And a wide, flat mouth that sits on the floor. It smells of old dust and hot rubber. Even when it is asleep, it is terrifying. The human reaches in. They grab the handle of the beast. They pull it out. Rattle, clunk. The wheels roll across the floor. Heavy, clumsy. The beast has been disturbed. It has been brought out into the light. The cat does not wait. The time for bravery is over. The time for survival has begun. He spins around. His claws dig into the carpet for traction. Scramble. He runs. Not a panic run, but a tactical retreat. He knows exactly where he is going. He is heading for the bunker. The bunker is the master bedroom. Specifically, the space underneath the king-size bed. He dives. Sliding on his belly, he slips under the hanging edge of the quilt. Whoosh! He is inside. The world under the bed is a different universe. It is a world of eternal twilight. The ceiling here is low, made of wooden slats and black fabric. The floor is soft carpet. It is safe here. The beast cannot fit here. The beast is too tall. He crawls to the very center, the safest point, equidistant from all four sides. He lies down, crouching low, his chin resting on his paws, his eyes fixed on the gap between the quilt and the floor. This is his viewport. He waits. Out in the hallway, the preparations continue. He hears the sound of the tail being pulled. The long, black electric cord. Zip. It sounds like a zipper tearing open the silence. Then the plug hitting the wall socket. Thunk. A pause. A second of absolute, terrifying silence. The breath before the scream. The sound is instantaneous. And it is everywhere. It is not just a noise. It is a vibration. The floor under his belly begins to tremble. The air under the bed shudders. The scream of the beast is high-pitched and mechanical. It is a hungry sound. A sound that eats thoughts. He flattens himself further, trying to become two-dimensional. His ears fold back, flat against his head, streamlining himself against the sonic wave. He watches the strip of light at the bottom of the bed frame. He sees the human's feet, wearing socks. They are moving, slowly, methodically. And then he sees it. The head of the beast. The wide, plastic nozzle. It slides into view. It is eating the carpet. Push. Pull. Push. Pull. It moves back and forth in a hypnotic, deadly rhythm. Whirr. Suuak. He can hear the debris rattling up the tube. Tick, tick, tick. Small stones. Dried food. Dust. All being swallowed whole. The beast is insatiable. The nozzle bumps against the leg of the bed. Bonk. The cat flinches. His heart hammers against his ribs. Thump, thump, thump. Is it coming in? Can it see him? The nozzle turns. It sniffs the edge of the darkness. The suction is strong. The fringe of the rug lifts up, drawn towards the mouth. But then it pulls back. The human drags it away. The roar fades slightly as the beast moves to the other side of the room. The cat lets out a breath. He is safe, for now. He remains in the bunker. He will not leave until the song of the monster ends. From his hiding spot, he observes the dust bunnies that live under the bed with him. They are his companions in exile. They tremble in the vibration of the vacuum. But they are safe too. The beast cannot reach this deep. He closes his eyes for a moment, focusing on the vibration. It is unpleasant, but it is also numbing. It drowns out everything else. There are no birds, no cars, no wind, only the roar. He imagines the hallway. He imagines the tracks the beast leaves behind, the vacuum lines, perfect, parallel lines in the carpet pile, evidence of its passing. He hates those lines. They ruin the texture. He will have to walk on them later to fix them, to mess them up. The sound changes. The pitch drops. The beast is moving away, out of the bedroom, back into the hallway. The vibration in the floor lessens. It is moving to the living room. The distance creates a buffer. The roar becomes a drone, a background hum. He lifts his head. His ears perk up slightly. The immediate danger has passed. But the siege is not over. He waits. 10 minutes. 15 minutes. He grooms a paw, licking the fur to soothe his nerves. He is a prisoner in his own castle, but he is a patient prisoner. And then, finally, the sound gets louder for a second as the human returns to the hall. And then, click, wire.
Do.
The motor spins down. The scream dies. The suction stops. The silence rushes back into the room. It feels sudden, heavy, ringing in the ears. He hears the cord being retracted. Zip, zip, zip. He hears the wheels rolling back. Rattle, clunk. He hears the closet door. Squeak, click. The beast is back in its cave. The darkness has reclaimed it. The seal is broken. The house is quiet. He waits another minute, just to be sure. It could be a trick. He sniffs the air. It smells different now. It smells scorched. It smells of ozone and disturbed dust. The smell of the aftermath. Slowly, very slowly, he begins to crawl forward. He reaches the edge of the bed. He pokes his head out. From under the quilt. He looks left. He looks right. The hallway is empty. The carpet has those strange lines. But the monster is gone. He slides out completely. He stands up. He shakes his body. From nose to tail. A ripple of fur. Shaking off the fear. Shaking off the vibration. He walks into the hallway. He stops at the closet door. He sniffs the gap at the bottom. He can smell it in there. Cooling down. He lets out a small, defiant breath. HHHMPH. I am still here, he thinks. You are in the dark, but I am in the light. He turns his back on the door. He walks towards the living room. The sunbeam is gone, but the sofa is still there. He jumps up. He finds his spot. He curls up. The war is over. The peace has returned. The survivor can sleep. The monster in the closet has been silent for hours. The house has returned to its natural state of stillness. But something has changed. Not inside, but outside. The light in the living room is different today. Usually, at this hour, the sun casts long, golden parallelograms across the carpet. But today, there is no gold. There are no sharp shadows. The light is flat. It is a soft, diffuse, silver-gray glow. It comes from everywhere, and nowhere, all at once. Our small observer wakes from a light doze on the back of the sofa. He senses the shift. The air near the window feels heavier. There is a chill radiating from the glass that reaches him even from 3 feet away. He stands up. He stretches, extending his front paws forward, lowering his chest until his chin almost touches the fabric. A long, luxuriously slow stretch. Then, he walks to the windowsill. He steps onto the ledge. His paws feel the difference immediately. The wood of the sill is cool. Much cooler than yesterday. He sits down. He wraps his tail around his front legs, creating a barrier against the draft. And he looks out. The world has vanished. The green grass, which he watched swaying in the wind yesterday, is gone. The dark earth of the flower beds is gone. The gray pavement of the driveway is gone. Everything has been erased. In its place is a blanket. A thick, seamless, blindingly white blanket. It covers the ground, smoothing out the roughness. It rounds the edges of the garden stones. It caps the fence posts with perfect, white domes. And the air is filled with movement. Millions of tiny white specks. Falling. Drifting. Swirling. To the cat, they look like feathers. Or perhaps white moths. But they do not fly up. They only fall down. Endless, silent motion. He tracks one flake. A large, heavy cluster of ice crystals. He watches it enter his field of view at the top of the window frame. He follows it with his eyes. Down, down, past the middle pane, down, past the latch, down, until it disappears into the white drift on the sill outside. Then, he picks another one. And another. It is hypnotic. A screensaver designed by nature. He leans forward. He presses his nose against the glass. Touch. It is freezing. Shockingly cold. He pulls back instantly. He sneezes. A tiny, sharp sound in the quiet room. Pft. He shakes his head. He does not like the cold touch. But he is fascinated by the barrier. Here, on this side of the glass, it is 72 degrees. It is dry. It is safe. There, on the other side, is the frozen wild. He looks at the tree, the large oak tree, in the center of the yard. Its branches are bare, stripped of leaves weeks ago. Now, every black branch is outlined in white. The tree looks like a skeleton wearing a white coat. A squirrel appears. It runs along the fence line. But it does not run with its usual, fluid grace. It hops. It struggles. Its feet sink into the powder. It looks annoyed. It pauses, flicking its tail, shaking the snow off its back. The cat watches the squirrel. Usually, his jaw would chatter. Usually, he would want to hunt. But today, he feels no desire to be out there. He feels a deep, ancient gratitude for the wall, for the roof, for the glass. He looks down at the bottom of the window pane. A small drift of snow has piled up against the glass outside. He can see the individual crystals. They are sharp, geometric, like crushed diamonds. They sparkle even in the gray light. The silence of the snow is heavy. Snow absorbs sound. It muffles the world. A car drives by on the street, but there is no tire noise, no crunch of gravel, just a soft whoosh, like a breath of wind. The birds are silent. He sees them huddled in the evergreen bush, fluffed up, round balls of feathers trying to keep warm. They are not singing today. They are surviving. Inside, the heating system kicks on. Click. Whoosh. Warm air begins to blow from the vent underneath the window. The cat feels the updraft. A wave of heat rises up, ruffling his fur. It warms his belly. It warms his chest. It is the perfect contrast. The vision of ice and the feeling of fire. He closes his eyes halfway, enjoying the sensation. The heat makes him sleepy. The falling snow makes him dizzy in a pleasant way. He watches a single flake land on the outside of the glass. It sticks there. For a moment, it is perfect. A six-pointed star. Intricate. Fragile. Then, the heat from the window touches it. The edges soften. The star loses its shape. It turns into a bead of water. It slides down the glass, leaving a tiny, wet trail. He puts his paw on the trail from the inside, tracing the path of the melted star. The afternoon wears on. The light begins to fade. The gray sky darkens to charcoal. The white snow turns blue. The blue hour of winter is magical. The snow seems to glow with its own internal light. The human walks into the room. They are holding a mug, steaming with something hot. They stop. They look at the cat. They look at the window. It's sticking, they whisper. The cat looks at the human. He blinks slowly. A slow motion blink. Yes, he says with his eyes. It is cold out there. We are staying here. The human reaches out and strokes the cat's back. The hand is warm. The fur is soft. Static electricity crackles slightly in the dry air. Snap. The cat arches his back into the touch, pushing against the hand, grounding himself. He decides that he has seen enough of the frozen world. The show is repetitive. The ending is always the same. Cold. Wet. White. He turns away from the window. He jumps down from the sill. Thump. He walks across the carpet, leaving the blue light behind. He heads towards the sofa, towards the thickest, fluffiest fleece blanket. He climbs up. He begins to knead the blanket. Left, right, left, right, pushing his paws deep into the fabric, making a nest, a warm, soft hole. He purrs, a low rumble, like a small engine. Purr, purr. He circles 3 times, and then collapses. He tucks his nose under his tail. He covers his ears. He shuts out the cold. He shuts out the white. In his mind, he is dreaming of summer, of tall grass, of sunbeams, of moths that fly and do not melt. But for now, the winter is here, and he is safe. Outside, the snow continues to fall, burying the world in silence. Inside, the cat sleeps, warm and content. The snow continues to fall outside. The white silence presses against the glass. But here, inside the kingdom, the mission has changed. The observation of the cold is finished. Now begins the search for the heat. Our small companion slides down from the sofa. His paws touch the floor. The wood is cool. Not freezing, but cool enough to send a signal to the brain. Find the source, the instinct whispers. Find the lung of the house. He walks across the room. He ignores the rug. The rug is soft, but it has no internal fire. He ignores the armchair. The armchair is comfortable, but it is merely an insulator. He needs active generation. He heads towards the hallway wall. There, nestled near the baseboard, sits the object of his desire. The vent, the register, the iron grate. To the human eye, it is a mundane object. A rectangle of white-painted metal set into the floor. It has louvers, angled slats of steel that are slightly chipped from years of service. It looks uncomfortable. It is hard. It is ridged. It is not a bed. But the cat knows better. He knows that this is the gateway. This is where the dragon breathes. He approaches it with reverence. He sniffs the metal. It is currently cold. The system is dormant. The house is in the drift cycle between bursts of heat. But he is patient. He knows the rhythm of the thermostat. He knows that the click is coming. He steps onto the grate. His paws fit awkwardly between the metal slats. He adjusts his footing. He circles once, twice, and then he lies down. He aligns his spine perfectly with the length of the vent. He rests his chin on the wooden floor, just off the edge of the metal. And he waits. The house is quiet. Tick tock. He closes his eyes. He visualizes the basement. Deep, deep down in the underhouse, there sits the furnace, the great gray heart of the building. He waits for it to wake up. And then it happens. First, a sound from the wall. A tiny metallic click. The thermostat has sensed the chill. The command has been sent. Then a rumble. Far away, beneath the floorboards, Woohooawum. The beast has ignited. The blue flames in the basement have roared to life. The cat's ears twitch. He feels the vibration traveling up through the joists, through the wood, and into his belly. He does not move. He braces himself. A few seconds pass. The fan kicks in. Whirr. And then, the arrival. It starts as a whisper. A gentle breath rising through the ductwork. And then, it hits him. Heat. Glorious, dry, rushing heat. It pushes up, through the metal slats. It is an invisible pillar of tropical air. It hits his stomach first. The fur on his belly, usually pressed flat, begins to move. It ripples in the updraft. Like wheat blowing in a hot summer wind. The heat penetrates the fur. It reaches the skin. It sinks into the muscles.
Oh.
He lets out a long, involuntary sigh. HHHHHHMMMM. His body, which was holding tension against the winter chill, instantly melts. He goes boneless. He becomes a liquid. He drapes himself over the metal grate, pouring his body into the gaps. The air smells distinct. It smells of toasted dust. It smells of dry metal. It smells of safety. It is the perfume of winter comfort. The force of the air is strong today. It blows the fur on his flank backward. He looks like he is flying while standing still. He is riding the thermal currents. He is a glider pilot, soaring on a column of fire without ever leaving the floor. He rolls over, exposing his chest to the blast. His front paws curl inwards, the curled paw of absolute contentment. He stretches his neck back, letting the hot air hit his throat. His eyes are closed tight. His mouth is slightly open. The heat is overwhelming. In a good way. It is a heavy blanket that presses him down. His breathing changes. It matches the rhythm of the furnace. Inhale. With the roar. Exhale. With the heat. He is no longer a cat in a snowy landscape. He is a creature of the desert. He is lying on a sun-baked rock in the middle of July. The snow outside is a lie. The cold window is a myth. Only this exists. Only this warmth. The metal grate, which was cold minutes ago, is now hot to the touch. It radiates heat into his ribs. It is a hot stone massage. He shifts slightly, moving his tail over the vent. Even the tail must be toasted. Minutes pass. He is in a trance. A heat coma. He is barely conscious. He is just a vessel absorbing energy. If you were to touch him now, he would be hot. A burning coal of gray fur. And then the cycle ends. The room has reached the target temperature. The thermostat clicks off. Click. The roar in the basement cuts out. The fan slows down. Whirr, duoon. The rush of air becomes a breeze. Then a whisper. Then stillness. But the cat does not move. The air has stopped, but the heat remains. The metal is still hot. The floor is warm. The air around him creates a bubble. He holds on to the warmth. He traps it between his body and the floor. He opens one eye. Just a slit. He looks at the dust motes that were stirred up by the air. They are slowly settling back down, landing on his fur. He is too lazy to shake them off. He stretches one leg out, fully extended, spreading the toes. Stretch. And then pulls it back in. The furnace sleeps again. And so does the cat. He has recharged. He is full of fire. He stays there on the silent grate, guarding the gate to the underworld, waiting for the next breath of the dragon. The winter cannot touch him here. The cycle of the heat vent has ended. The metal grate has cooled down, returning to the ambient temperature of the room. Our traveler, warm and recharged, rises from the floor. He stretches, shaking off the dust of sleep. The house is active again. Not with the roar of the vacuum, but with a softer, more promising commotion. The human has returned from the outside world. They have returned from the hunt. They walk through the kitchen, carrying the spoils of their journey. Large, overflowing bundles. But the cat is not interested in the cans, or the boxes, or the vegetables. He is interested in the shell. The container. The human unloads the supplies. There is a rustling sound. A dry, crisp, crackling noise. It is music to the ears. Finally, the task is done. The human takes one of the empty vessels, a large, stiff, brown paper bag. And they drop it. Swish. Flump. It lands on the floor. On its side. It sits there. A mundane object to the giant. Trash. Recycling. But to the cat, it is a gift. It is real estate. It is a fortress. He approaches it with tactical caution. He stays low, his belly brushing the tiles. The bag is a strange object. It has structure, yet it is light. It stands open, a dark, rectangular mouth, waiting to swallow him. He reaches out with one paw. He taps the side of the bag. Crinkle. The sound is sharp, loud, satisfying. It sounds like dry leaves in autumn. It sounds like prey hiding in the brush. He taps it again. Harder this time. Crinkle snap. The bag moves slightly. It is lightweight. It is responsive. He moves to the entrance. He peers inside. The interior is dark. It smells of recycled pulp, of wood glue, and faintly of the onions that were carried inside it. It is a tunnel, a cave that leads nowhere and everywhere. He decides to enter. He places one front paw inside the bag. The paper floor rustles under his weight. Scrunch. He places the second paw inside. Now he commits. He slides his head and shoulders into the darkness. The acoustics change immediately. Inside the bag, the world sounds different. The hum of the refrigerator is muffled. The footsteps of the human are distant, but his own sounds are amplified. His breathing sounds like a windstorm. The scratch of his claws on the paper sounds like thunder. He crawls all the way in, dragging his hind legs behind him. His tail, the last thing to disappear, gives a final twitch and vanishes into the brown void. He is now fully enclosed. He is hidden. He is invisible. He turns around. It is a tight squeeze. The paper walls press against his sides. But this pressure feels good. It feels secure. Like a hug made of tree bark. He manages to rotate his body 180 degrees. Now he is facing out. He lies down. His chin rests on his paws right at the threshold of the cave. From here, he can see the kitchen. He can see the ankles of the human walking by. But they cannot see him. Or so he believes. To them, it is just a bag on the floor. But inside sits the tiger, the watcher in the shadows. He waits. The paper floor is not soft, like the rug. It is hard and slightly uneven. But the texture is fascinating. He extends his claws slowly. He sinks them into the thick paper floor. Pierce. Pop. He pulls them out. The paper provides the perfect amount of resistance. It is a sensory delight. Suddenly, a shadow passes the opening. The human walks by. The instinct triggers. The cat strikes. He shoots a paw out from the cave. Swat. He taps the human's ankle. A gentle, playful ambush. The human stops. They look down. They laugh. I see you, they say. The cat pulls his paw back, retreating into the bunker. His eyes are wide, pupils dilated. The fortress has been compromised, but the walls hold. The human does not attack. The human respects the fortress. They walk away. The excitement fades. The adrenaline of the ambush settles down. The bag begins to feel less like a hunting blind and more like a bedroom. The air inside gets warm, trapping his body heat. It becomes a small, personal sauna. He rests his head again. The crinkling stops. The silence returns. He looks at the ceiling of his cave. The brown paper arched over his head. There is a small tear near the corner. A beam of light filters through. A tiny star in his brown sky. The smell of the paper is soothing. It is an earthy smell. Simple. Natural. His eyelids get heavy. The safety of the enclosure tells his brain that it is time to shut down. There are no drafts here. No open spaces. No vulnerable angles. His back is covered. His sides are covered. Only the front is open, and he is watching it. He curls his tail around his nose. The bag rises and falls slightly with his breathing. Rustle, rustle. A very faint sound. Like the bag is breathing with him. He is the king of the grocery bag. The emperor of the recycling. For a few hours, this fragile paper shell is the strongest castle in the world. The kitchen light clicks off. The room goes dim. Inside the bag, it is pitch black. But he is not afraid. The darkness is his friend. The darkness is his blanket. He closes his eyes. The crinkle is silent. The ambush is over. The fortress stands guard while the soldier sleeps. The paper fortress has been abandoned. The sun has climbed past the zenith of the sky and is now beginning its slow descent into the afternoon. The house is in a state of suspension, a lull between the morning chaos and the evening return. But our watcher knows the schedule. He has an internal clock more accurate than the digital numbers glowing on the microwave. He knows that at this specific angle of the sun, something happens. He is sitting in the front hallway. The floor here is slate. Cool, dark stone. In front of him stands the great wooden barrier. The front door. To the human, it is just a door. But to him, it is the boundary of the known universe. And in the center of this door is a small brass rectangle. The flap. The mouth. He waits. His tail is wrapped neatly around his paws. He is a statue of patience. And then he hears it. Far down the street. A sound. It is not a normal car. Normal cars have a smooth, continuous hum. Whoosh. This vehicle is different. It has a stutter. It has a rhythm. Vroom. Squeak. Stop. Vroom. Squeak. Stop. It is the white box. The vehicle of the messenger. The cat's ears swivel forward. He tracks the sound. It is 3 houses away. Now 2. Now it is here. He hears the heavy, metallic rattle of the truck's engine idling in front of the house. Chug, 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 chug. He hears the distinctive sound of the sliding door. Kerklunk. He stands up. He moves closer to the door. He cannot see through the wood, but he can see through the narrow side window. He stretches up, resting his paws on the sill. Peering out through the blinds, he sees the figure. The blue walker. A human dressed in the color of the sky. They are walking up the driveway. They are carrying a bag slung over their shoulder. A heavy bag filled with secrets. The cat watches intensely. This human never enters. They never knock. They never ask for food. They have only one purpose: to feed the door. The blue walker steps onto the porch. The cat hears the footsteps. Heavy boots on the wooden deck. Thud. 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 The shadow of the walker falls across the glass, blocking the light. The cat drops down from the window. He positions himself directly in front of the door, calculating the drop zone. He stares at the brass flap. Silence. The human is on the other side, just inches away. He can hear their breathing. He can hear the rustle of paper. And then the event. Squeak. The brass flap lifts up. A sliver of bright, outside light cuts into the dark hallway. He sees fingers. Human fingers pushing through. And then the payload. Shh! Whip. Slap. A stack of envelopes slides through the slot. They hang there for a millisecond, suspended in the air, and then gravity takes them. Flap clatter. Slide. They hit the slate floor, scattering like dry leaves. A white envelope slides to the left. A glossy magazine lands with a heavy thwop. A small flyer flutters down slowly, landing on top. Snap. The brass flap snaps shut. The light is cut off. The connection is broken. He hears the footsteps retreating. Thud. 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 He hears the truck engine rev up. V-room. And then the sound fades away. V-room. Squeak. Stop. Moving to the next house. The ritual is complete. The blue walker has gone. But the debris remains. Now begins the inspection. The cat approaches the pile of mail. He moves cautiously. These objects are from the outside. They carry the scent of the forbidden world. He sniffs the white envelope. It smells cold. It holds the chill of the winter air. It smells of the leather bag it traveled in. It smells of the ink stamped on the corner. He nudges it with his nose. It moves slightly. Scrape. He moves to the glossy magazine. It is slippery. He steps on it. Slide. His paw slips. He dislikes the texture. It is too smooth. But the smell is interesting. It smells of perfume samples inside the pages. A chemical, floral scent. He sneezes. Pft. He looks at the flyer. It is bright yellow. It crinkles under his feet. He paws at it, hooking a claw into the edge. He flips it over. Flip. Nothing underneath. Just more slate. He walks in a circle around the scattered pile. He is the customs officer. He is checking the cargo. Is there food? No. Is there a mouse? No. Is there a threat? No. It is just paper. Dead wood, flattened and marked. He loses interest in the content. But he finds a use for the arrangement. The magazine, combined with the envelopes, creates a slightly elevated, uneven surface. A new texture on the smooth floor. He decides to claim it. He sits down directly on top of the mail. His gray fur contrasts with the white envelopes. He covers the bills and the letters with his warm body. This is mine now, he thinks. Whatever message was sent must go through me first. He sits there for a long time, guarding the door, guarding the mail. The slate floor is cold, but the paper provides a thin layer of insulation. The hallway is quiet again. The only evidence of the event is the messy pile under the cat. He looks up at the brass slot. It is closed. It reflects the dim light of the hall. It is a golden eye that is now asleep. His job is done. The perimeter has been breached, but the objects have been secured. He begins to lick his paw. Slowly, methodically, washing away the scent of the outside world. The afternoon stretches on. Shadows lengthen in the hallway. Eventually, the human will come home. They will open the door. They will see him sitting there, on top of the news. They will say, "Oh, thank you for sorting the mail, Augie." And they will pick up the papers. And the game will end. But for now, he rests. The guardian of the gateway. The keeper of the letters. He closes his eyes, listening to the silence that follows the truck. The excitement of the mail has passed. The scattered envelopes lie still on the slate floor. The afternoon was supposed to be bright, but the sky has changed its mind. It begins with a darkening. The light in the hallway, which was a soft white, slowly turns into a deep, heavy slate gray. The shadows in the corners of the room stretch out and merge together. The house feels smaller, more intimate. Our small companion senses the pressure drop. The air feels thick, charged with electricity. He leaves his post at the door. He walks into the living room. The silence of the house is waiting for something. And then the first drop falls. Tap. It hits the metal flashing of the roof. A sharp, tiny sound. Then another. Tap. And another. Tap, tap, tap. The cat stops in the middle of the carpet. He looks up at the ceiling. His ears swivel like satellite dishes. He is listening to the roof. The tapping accelerates. It becomes a rhythm, then a drum roll, and finally a steady washing roar. Shh! The rain has arrived. The gray curtain has fallen over the kingdom. He walks to the window, not to hunt this time, but to witness. He jumps up onto the sill. The glass is vibrating ever so slightly from the impact of the water. He looks out. The world is distorted. The trees are no longer trees. They are green smudges waving in the wind. The driveway is a black river. He sees a car drive by. It does not rumble today. It hisses. Hiaces. The tires cutting through the water on the asphalt. It is a wet, tearing sound. He watches the red taillights blur and fade into the mist. Raindrops hit the glass right in front of his nose. Splat. He watches a single drop. It clings to the pane, trembling against the wind. Then it grows too heavy. It surrenders to gravity. It runs down the glass, winding left, then right, collecting other drops along the way, becoming a stream. He paws at the glass gently, trying to catch the stream, but it is on the other side, always on the other side. He feels smug. Out there, it is wet. It is cold. It is miserable. In here, it is dry. It is warm. It is perfect. The rain creates a wall. A sound wall. It blocks out the birds. It blocks out the neighbors. It wraps the house in a cocoon of white noise. This noise is the ultimate lullaby. It tells the brain, there is nothing to do. There is nowhere to go. You must sleep. The cat jumps down from the window. The view is too chaotic. He needs softness. He needs to bury himself. He heads for the chair. The overstuffed velvet armchair in the corner. It is the throne of rainy afternoons. He jumps up. The velvet is cool at first, but quickly warms up. He digs his claws in. Knead. He is making biscuits. Or perhaps he is testing the density of the clouds. He circles. Once. Twice. 3 times. He collapses. Floomp. He does not curl into a ball immediately. First, he must groom. The rain outside demands cleanliness inside. He lifts a hind leg, pointed straight at the ceiling. Like a cello, he begins to lick. Long, rhythmic strokes. Rasp, rasp, rasp. His tongue is like sandpaper, but it is soothing. It is a massage. He cleans his toes, spreading them wide, cleaning between the pads. He cleans his flank, smoothing down every single hair, aligning the fur with the flow of energy. The sound of the rain changes. The gutters are full now. He can hear the water rushing down the downspout just outside the wall. Gurgle, gurgle, rush. It sounds like a brook running through the wall. Far away, there is a rumble. Boom. Thunder. But it is distant. Low frequency. It rattles the windows just a tiny bit. The cat stops grooming. He lifts his head, eyes wide for a second. He listens. Is it a threat? No. It is just the sky moving furniture. He lowers his head back down. The grooming is finished. Now the sleep begins. He tucks his head upside down, his chin resting on his chest, his paws covering his eyes. He has become a shrimp, a crescent moon of gray fur. The room is growing darker. The rain clouds are thick. It looks like evening, even though it is only 3 p.m. This false night is the best kind of night. It is stolen time. His breathing slows down. It matches the rhythm of the rain. Inhale. Rain falls. Exhale. Wind blows. The house feels like a ship, floating on a gray ocean. And he is the captain, asleep in his cabin. Nothing can touch him here. The water cannot reach him. The cold cannot bite him. Occasionally, his ear twitches, tracking a louder drop or a sudden gust of wind. But his eyes remain closed. He is deep in the theta waves, dreaming of catching fish in a river made of cream. The rain continues, steady, relentless, washing the world clean. But inside, everything is soft, Everything is dry. The rain has finally stopped. The clouds have broken apart, drifting away like ships in the dark sky. The moon, a cold, white eye, looks down upon the house. Inside, the rhythm has changed completely. The day belongs to the humans. It is filled with their noise, their heavy footsteps, their bright lights, and their demands. But the night belongs to him. The transition happened an hour ago. The ritual of the shutdown. The television was silenced. The lights were clicked off, one by one. The darkness was invited in room by room. He watched them go upstairs. He heard the brushing of teeth, the creak of the bed frame, and then the heavy, rhythmic breathing of deep sleep. The giants are unconscious. They are vulnerable. The time for the night patrol has begun. He is currently lying on the arm of the sofa. He opens his eyes. In the daytime, his pupils are thin slits. But now, in the dark, they are massive. They are black saucers, consuming almost the entire gold of his iris. He is drinking in the light. Every tiny photon, reflecting off the toaster or the doorknob, is captured. To him, the room is not dark. It is a grayscale landscape. Clear, sharp, and empty. He stands up. He stretches, but this stretch is different. It is not the lazy stretch of the afternoon. It is a tactical stretch, testing the muscles, preparing the body. He jumps down. Thump. The sound is swallowed by the carpet. He begins his route. The perimeter check. First, the front door. He walks down the hallway. The slate floor is invisible in the dark, but he knows exactly where it is. He checks the door. He sniffs the gap at the bottom. The air coming in is cold and crisp. It smells of wet pavement and night-blooming jasmine. He listens. Is there anything on the porch? A raccoon? A stray dog? Silence. The barrier holds. The entrance is secure. He turns around. His shadow, cast by the street lamp outside, is long and distorted against the wall. A giant, ghostly cat, following him. Next. The kitchen. He moves into the tiled zone. The kitchen at night is a strange place. The appliances look different. The refrigerator stands like a monolith. A tall, silver tower. It makes noises at night that it does not make during the day. Crack. Pop. The ice melting or shifting inside. The cat stops. One paw raised. He stares at the silver tower. I hear you, he signals. Stay in your corner. He walks past the dishwasher. The little green light on the control panel is blinking. Blink. 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 It is the only color in the room. He watches it for a moment. A small, electric heartbeat. It is hypnotic. But he cannot stay. He has work to do. He jumps up onto the windowsill above the sink. This is a critical vantage point. The backyard observatory. He looks out. The moon is bright tonight. It paints the wet grass in silver. The puddles from the rain look like mirrors scattered on the lawn. He scans the fence line. Movement. A shadow moves near the shed. An opossum? He tracks it. His head moves slowly, following the shape. The shadow disappears under the fence. Threat level 0. The intruder has left the territory. He jumps down, landing on the kitchen rug. He moves towards the living room. Here, the shadows are tricky. The coat rack, standing in the corner, looks like a tall man. The blanket, draped over the chair, looks like a crouching beast. But he knows these shapes. He has memorized them. He walks past the coat rack, brushing his tail against it. "You are just wood," he whispers. He stops in the center of the room. The listening post. He sits. He closes his eyes to focus his ears. The house talks at night. The wooden beams contract as they cool down. Creak. The water pipes settle in the walls. Tick, tick, tick. The wind brushes against the siding. Shh. Whip. These are the normal sounds. The sounds of a healthy house. If there was a wrong sound, a scratch, a footstep, a jiggle of a handle, he would know instantly. But tonight, the house is breathing steadily. He moves to the stairs. The vertical ascent. He looks up. The stairs disappear into the darkness above. This is the path to the protected zone. The sleeping quarters. He begins to climb. He skips the third step. The third step creaks. He knows this. He steps over it. Silent as smoke. He reaches the landing. The hallway upstairs is carpeted. Soft. Warm. There are 3 doors. 2 are closed. 1 is slightly ajar. The master bedroom. He approaches the open door. He pushes it gently with his head. It swings open a few more inches. Squeak. He walks in. The air here is heavy. Warm. Smelling of laundry detergent and humans. He walks to the side of the bed. He stands on his hind legs, peeking over the edge of the mattress. He sees the shapes under the duvet, the slow rise and fall of the mountains. He hears the breathing, deep, even. They are safe. The pack is intact. He does not wake them. He does not need to snuggle right now. He is on duty. He walks around the bed to the window. This window faces the street. It is the highest point in the house. The watchtower. He jumps up onto the sill. He pushes the curtain aside with his nose, creating a small tent between the fabric and the glass. He sits there, looking out at the sleeping street. A street lamp buzzes, flickering slightly. A car is parked across the road. Dark. Cold. The world is asleep. He wraps his tail around his paws. He feels a sense of satisfaction. The perimeter is checked. The entrances are sealed. The family is sleeping. The house is his. His eyelids begin to droop. The adrenaline of the patrol is fading. The quiet is seductive. He rests his forehead against the cool glass. He will stay here for a while, half asleep, half awake. One ear turned towards the street, one ear turned towards the bed. He is the bridge between the wild night outside and the safe warmth inside. He is the silent guardian, the watcher in the dark. The moon moves slowly across the sky. The shadows shift on the floor, but the cat remains still, silent, a gargoyle of soft fur protecting the castle. The night patrol has been forgotten. The silent vigil of the mail slot is a distant memory. Today, the house has transformed. The air pressure is different. The temperature is higher. And the smell is absolute. It started early, before the sun had even touched the window pane. The humans were awake, moving with a frantic, happy energy. They opened the cold vault, the refrigerator, and they pulled out the beast, the great bird. To the cat, it is a confusing object. It is the size of a small dog, but it is pink and cold and dead. It sits on the counter, a mountain of raw potential. He watched them prepare it, rubbing it with yellow butter, sprinkling it with green dust that smells of the forest, sage, thyme, rosemary. And then they put it in the hot box, the oven, and the waiting began. Now it is late afternoon. The sun is setting early, casting a deep orange glow through the dining room windows. The house is no longer quiet. It is full. The intruders have arrived. Family, friends, strangers with loud voices and heavy shoes. The cat does not like the intruders. They take up space. They move unpredictably. Some of them try to touch him with hands that smell of strange soap. "Here, kitty, kitty," they say. He ignores them. He navigates the room like a shadow, moving behind the sofa, sliding under the side tables. He is a ghost in the crowd, but he cannot leave. He cannot retreat to the bedroom upstairs, because the smell anchors him here. The smell of the roasting bird has filled every corner of the house. It is thick, savory, heavy with fat. It hangs in the air like a fog. It tickles his whiskers. It makes his mouth water. Drip. He positions himself in the dining room. The humans have set the table. It is the grand plateau. Usually, the table is bare wood, but today it is covered in a white cloth. The cloth hangs down low, almost touching the floor. To the cat, this is a tent, a massive, white pavilion. He slips underneath. The world under the Thanksgiving table is a forest of legs, chair legs made of wood, table legs thick and carved, and human legs wrapped in denim and wool and nylon. He sits in the center, deep in the shadows of the tablecloth. This is his bunker. From here, he can smell everything but no one can step on him. Above his head, the feast is happening. He hears the heavy platters being set down. Thump. Clink. He hears the spoons scraping against ceramic bowls. Scrape, scrape. He smells the mashed potatoes. Warm, milky, and soft. He smells the gravy. A rich, dark river of scent. And above all, the turkey. The great bird has been carved. Its juices are flowing. The humans sit down. Squeak, scrape. The chairs are pulled in. The forest of legs becomes denser. The exit routes are blocked. But he does not want to leave. He is waiting for the drop. He knows the physics of the feast. When humans eat, they are messy. Especially the small humans. The ones with swinging legs. He watches the shoes. Shiny black shoes. Scuffed sneakers. High heels that tap impatiently. Tap, tap, tap. He waits. Above him, the sounds of consumption. The clinking of forks on teeth. The murmur of conversation. Laughter that shakes the floorboards slightly. Pass the rolls, please. This is delicious. To the cat, this is just noise. Meaningless chatter. His reality is the floor. And then it happens. Gravity is his friend. A piece of meat, white, fibrous, and glistening with fat, slides off a fork. It falls. Splat. It lands near the shoe of the uncle. The cat freezes. He calculates the distance. 12 inches. He looks at the shoe. The shoe does not move. The human has not noticed. He moves. Low. Fast. He stretches his neck out. He opens his mouth. Snap. He grabs the treasure. He pulls back instantly into the center of the dark tent. He drops the prize on the carpet. He inspects it. It is warm. It is coated in a salty liquid. It is perfect. He eats it. Chomp, chomp, gulp. It is gone in 3 seconds. He licks his lips. He licks the spot on the carpet where the meat touched, getting every molecule of flavor. He looks up again, waiting for the second course. A green bean falls. Plop. He sniffs it. It smells vegetal. Bitter. He nudges it with his nose. He looks at it with disdain. I am a hunter, he thinks. Not a rabbit. He leaves the green bean. The dog can have it later. The meal stretches on. The air under the table gets warmer. Trapped by the heavy tablecloth and the body heat of 10 humans. It is cozy. It is soporific. The sounds above begin to slow down. The clinking of forks becomes less frequent. The conversation becomes softer, slower. The humans are getting full. The food coma is setting in. Chairs are pushed back. Scrape. Some legs leave the forest. The cat remains. He checks the floor one last time. A crumb of a biscuit? Yes. He eats that too. Dry, buttery. Good. The humans move to the living room. The sounds of the football game drift in from the TV. Cheering, whistles. The dining room is empty now. The table is a ruin of dirty plates and empty glasses. The cat walks out from under the tent. He walks into the living room. The intruders are settled. They are sitting on the sofas, lying in the armchairs. They are no longer loud. They are heavy and sleepy. The danger is gone. Now they are just warm furniture. He finds his favorite human, the one with the softest lap. The human is lying back, eyes half closed. A blanket over their legs. The cat approaches. He jumps up. Thump. The human does not push him away. The human groans happily. Hey, buddy, they whisper. A hand, heavy with sleep, rests on the cat's head. The cat walks in a circle on the blanket, finding the hollow between the legs. He lies down. His belly is full. Thanks to the floor. The air is still warm from the oven. The smell of pumpkin pie is now drifting from the kitchen. Sweet and spicy. Cinnamon and nutmeg. He purrs. Purr. It is a deep, resonant purr. A vibration that travels through the human's legs. The human falls asleep. The cat falls asleep. The house is heavy with peace. The great bird has been conquered. The feast is over. The long, dark evening of digestion has begun. Close your eyes. Feel the weight of the warm blanket. You are full. You are safe. You are loved. The seasons turn outside the window. The white snow of winter has melted into the green mud of spring and baked into the dry dust of summer. The leaves fall and grow again. The world outside is in a constant state of restless change. But inside the kingdom, in the quiet corner of the living room, time stands still. Here sits the old armchair. It is not a beautiful object to the modern eye. Its fabric, once a deep, royal emerald green, has faded. The sun, streaming through the window for a decade, has bleached it to a soft, dusty olive. The velvet, once thick and plush, is now worn smooth in the center of the seat. But to our companion, this chair is not furniture. It is a friend. It is a womb. It is the throne. The feast of Thanksgiving is a memory now. The energy of the kitten years, the desire to chase the moth, the need to conquer the countertop, has begun to soften. The urgency has been replaced by a desire for comfort. And the chair provides it. He approaches it now, walking slowly across the carpet. His gait is steady, but perhaps a little less bouncy than it was in the days of the paper bag. He stops at the base of the chair. He looks up at the seat. It is a familiar height. A height he has measured 10,000 times. He does not need to crouch deeply. He does not need to wiggle his haunches. The muscle memory is absolute. A simple, effortless hop. Thump. He lands on the cushion. The cushion sighs. WHHHFFFF. A soft, exhaling sound as the old foam compresses under his weight. The chair welcomes him back. It knows his shape. In the center of the seat, there is a hollow. A permanent indentation carved out by years of naps. It is a perfect, bowl-shaped nest made just for him. He stands there for a moment, feeling the velvet under his paws. The texture is complex. It is soft, but it has memory. He looks at the armrest. The left armrest. The fabric there is shredded. Threads of white cotton poke through the green velvet. These are his marks. His signature. Years ago, when he was small and filled with wild energy, this armrest was his enemy. He attacked it. He dug his claws in. Rip, rip. He fought the chair. And the chair stood silent, taking the blows. Now, he sniffs the shredded threads. He rubs his cheek against them. He does not scratch it anymore. The war is over. Now, it is just a texture. A rough patch that feels good against his chin. The ritual begins. The kneading. He spreads his toes wide. He pushes his paws deep into the cushion. Left. Right. Left. Right. He is marching in place. His eyes begin to close halfway. A low rumble starts in his chest. Purr, rumble. This is not just comfortable. This is ancient. He is remembering his mother. He is remembering the safety of the first basket. The chair absorbs the movement. It does not bounce back too hard. It is yielding. Forgiving. He turns in a circle. 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then the collapse. He lets his legs go. He drops his weight. Floomp. He lands right in the hollow. The chair holds him. It hugs him from the sides. The back of the chair rises up like a wall, protecting him from drafts. Protecting him from the eyes of the room. The smell here is specific. If you were to press your face into the velvet, you would smell dust. Old, dry dust. You would smell sun-baked fabric. You would smell the faint trace of the human's coffee spilled 5 years ago. But mostly you would smell cat. It smells of his fur, of his warmth. It is a scent beacon. I live here, it says. This is my island. He rests his head on the armrest, using it as a pillow. His whiskers droop down. The sun has moved to the perfect angle. A square of light hits the back of the chair. It warms the air around his ears. He watches the room from this elevated position. The floor is for walking. The floor is for the humans with their busy feet. But the chair is for observation. He sees the specks of dust floating in the shaft of light. They swirl and turn. He used to bat at them. He used to try to catch them. Now he just watches, letting them drift. There is peace in just watching. His tail hangs off the edge of the seat. The tip twitches slightly. Tap against the fabric. He is drifting away. The sounds of the house begin to blur. The refrigerator hum sounds like a distant ocean. The clock ticking sounds like rain. The chair feels steady beneath him. It is a solid object in a fluid world. It has been here since he arrived in the basket. It has been here through the winters and the summers. The humans sit in it sometimes, but they don't fit right. They are too big. They sit on top of it. He sits in it. He feels a draft near his tail. He tucks it in, curling into a tight, perfect circle. The donut shape. Conservation of heat. Maximum efficiency. His breathing slows. Inhale. The cushion rises. Exhale. The cushion falls. The chair breathes with him. They are one organism. A dream begins. In the dream, the chair is not a chair. It is a cloud, floating high above the house, high above the trees. He is floating warm and safe. There are no vacuum cleaners in the sky. There are no cold floors. Only velvet and sun. The afternoon wears on. The light turns orange, then gray. The room grows dark around him, but he does not move. Why would he? He has everything he needs. The old armchair holds him up. Silent, faithful, enduring. The seasons of the house continue to turn. The great wheel of the year spins slowly, silently, around the axis of the living room. The old armchair remains faithful in its corner. The sunbeam clock continues its daily march across the floor. But inside the kingdom, the pace has changed. The rhythm of the pause has shifted. There was a time in the early chapters of this history when the world was a blur of motion, when every shadow was a monster to be slain, when every paper bag was a fortress to be stormed, when the hallway was a racetrack for midnight sprints. But those days belonged to the summer of life. And now the autumn has arrived. Our companion is still the king, but he is a king in his golden years. He does not patrol with the same urgency. He does not jump to the top of the refrigerator just to prove he can. He has learned the ancient wisdom of conservation. He wakes up on the velvet throne. The sun is warm on his back. In the old days, he would have leaped down immediately. He would have run to the kitchen, demanding breakfast with a loud song. But today, he takes his time. He opens one eye. Blink. He assesses the body. The joints are stiff. The muscles are cold. They need to be warmed up, slowly. Like an old engine on a frosty morning. He begins the stretch. It is a slow, deliberate process. Extending one front leg until the claws unsheath, squeezing the air. Then the other. He yawns. A wide, pink yawn that lasts for 5 seconds. Yawn. He smacks his lips. Smack, smack. He stands up. He steps down from the chair. Not a jump, but a controlled, heavy step. Thud. He walks across the carpet. His tail is low, swinging gently side to side. He moves with a new kind of dignity, a slow, rolling gait. He is not in a rush. The food will be there. The water will be there. The world will wait for him. He reaches the hallway. He sees the toy mouse, the one with the green feathers. It is lying on its side, near the baseboard, a relic of a past war. He stops. He looks at it. In his mind, he remembers the chase. He remembers the thrill of tossing it in the air. He lifts a paw. He taps it gently. Bat. The mouse slides an inch. That is enough. He has acknowledged it. He has proven he is still dangerous. But he does not need to sweat. He walks past it. Not today, he thinks. Today is for thinking. He arrives in the kitchen. The human is there. The coffee machine is rumbling. The cat sits down. He does not weave between the legs. He does not trip the giant. He simply sits and watches. His eyes are deep. They have seen thousands of mornings. They have seen thousands of cans being opened. He knows the routine better than the human does. The bowl is filled. He eats slowly, savoring the flavor. Crunch, crunch, crunch. When he is done, he does not run off. He sits by the water bowl, staring at his reflection. The gray face looking back at him. The white whiskers that are longer and more unruly than before. The small notch in his left ear from a battle long ago. He drinks. Lap, lap, lap. The afternoon comes. This is the time for the deep sleep. As a kitten, he slept to recharge for the next hunt. Now he sleeps because sleep is the destination. It is the main event. He seeks out the warmest spots. He has become a connoisseur of heat. He finds the spot where the heating vent blows directly under the curtains, creating a pocket of hot air. He crawls inside. The curtain drapes over him like a royal canopy. He lies down. His breathing is heavier now. Sometimes he snores. A soft, whistling sound. Whee, shoo. Sometimes his paws twitch. He is dreaming. In his dreams, he is young again. He is running through tall grass. He is catching the red bird. He is climbing the tallest tree. But when he wakes up, he is content to just be here. On the floor. Warm. He spends hours just staring. He sits by the glass door, watching the garden. A squirrel runs by. He does not chatter. He does not tense up. He just watches. He appreciates the squirrel. He appreciates the movement, the life, the energy. But he is an observer now. He is a historian, recording the events of the yard in his memory. The human comes home. They sit on the sofa. The cat walks over. He looks up. He does not jump up immediately. He waits for the invitation. He waits for the hand to come down and pat the cushion. Pat, pat. Come on up, old man, the human whispers. He climbs up, one paw at a time, pulling himself up. He settles on the lap. The human's legs are the best bed in the world. He feels the hand stroking his fur. The hand finds the spot behind the ears. Scritch, scritch. His eyes roll back. His head pushes into the hand. Purr. The purr is different too. It is deeper, rattlier, like an old diesel engine. It vibrates through his whole body. It vibrates through the human. It is a sound of pure gratitude. I am here, the purr says. We are here. And it is good. He notices things he missed before. He notices the way the light catches the dust on the table. He notices the smell of the rain before it falls. He notices the sound of the human's heart beating when he lies on their chest. The urgency of life has faded away. The anxiety of the territory has vanished. He knows he owns the house. He knows he is safe. There is nothing left to prove. There is only existence. He looks at the younger cat. If there is one running across the room, chasing a shadow, he blinks slowly. Run, he thinks. Run while you can. One day you will understand the beauty of the chair. The evening sun dips below the horizon. The room grows dark. The cat stays on the lap. He does not want to move. The human does not want to move. They are frozen in time. A tableau of friendship. His eyes close completely. The darkness is soft. He drifts between the waking world and the sleeping world. The boundaries are blurry now. Is he awake? Is he asleep? It doesn't matter. He is warm. Slowing down is not an end. It is a refining. It is distilling life down to its most important parts. Warmth, food, touch, love. He takes a deep breath. H, and lets it out. The world spins on, fast and chaotic. But here, in the quiet kingdom, everything is slow. Everything is still. The quiet kingdom has been breached. The stillness, which took years to cultivate, like a fine garden, has been trampled. The era of absolute silence has ended. It happened on a Tuesday. A day that started like any other. The sunbeam was in its place. The bowl was full. The armchair was waiting. But then the humans returned. They carried with them the box. It was not a cardboard box. It was the hard plastic box. The traveler. Our wise companion, watching from the safety of the hallway, felt a shiver run down his spine. That box usually means the vet. It means cold thermometers and sharp needles. He retreated to the high ground, to the top of the bookshelf, the eagle's nest, and he waited. But the box did not contain him. It contained Another. The humans set the box down in the middle of the living room. They knelt around it, making soft, cooing noises. Noises they usually reserved for him. Then the latch clicked. Snap. The metal gate swung open. For a moment, nothing happened. The dark cave of the carrier remained silent. Then, a sound. Mew. It was not a meow. It was a squeak. A high-pitched, vibrating needle of sound. It pierced the air. It bounced off the walls. And then, it emerged. A tiny, trembling ball of fluff. A creature made of static electricity and wide blue eyes. It stepped out onto the carpet. Its legs were too short. Its tail was a tiny triangle sticking straight up. It looked ridiculous. The older cat peered down over the edge of the shelf. His eyes narrowed. What is this? He thought. Is it a mouse? Is it a toy? No. It smelled of cat. But it smelled of milk. And fear. And chaos. The kitten paused. It looked at the vast expanse of the living room. To the kitten, this was not a room. It was a galaxy. And then, the explosion. The kitten did not walk. It bounced. Boing, boing, boing. It moved sideways. It puffed its fur out. It attacked the air. It attacked a shadow. It attacked its own foot. The older cat watched in disbelief. He remembered vaguely a time when he too had chased ghosts. But that was lifetimes ago. That was before the wisdom of the chair. This creature has no dignity. It has no rhythm. It is pure, unrefined energy. The kitten finds the rug. It digs its tiny, needle-sharp claws in. It rolls over, kicking the rug with its hind legs. The older cat sighs. A long, heavy exhalation through his nose. HHHFFFF. The rug is for sleeping, he broadcasts silently. Not for wrestling. The humans are delighted. They laugh. They dangle a string. The kitten goes mad. Doing backflips. Crashing into the table leg. Bonk. It shakes its head and attacks the table leg. Hours pass. The older cat stays on the shelf. He is the gargoyle. The silent guardian. He refuses to come down. The floor is compromised. The floor is a danger zone. But eventually, nature calls. He must descend. He climbs down carefully, checking the coordinates. The kitten is currently underneath the sofa, battling a lost sock. The coast is clear. He walks towards the kitchen. His gait is slow, heavy, purposeful. Suddenly, a blur. Whoosh. The kitten appears. It slides across the floor, stopping inches from his face. The kitten looks up. Its eyes are huge. Play? The kitten asks. It reaches out a tiny paw. It taps the older cat's nose. Boop. The older cat freezes. The audacity. The disrespect. He looks at the kitten. He looks at the paw. He does not hiss. He is too old for drama. He simply stares. He gives the kitten the look. A look of such profound, ancient weariness that the kitten pauses. The older cat leans forward and lets out a single, low rumble.
Grrr.
It is not a growl of war. It is a growl of warning. I am a mountain, it says. You are a pebble. Do not poke the mountain. The kitten, sensing the power, backs away. It sits down. It tilts its head. The older cat steps around it, giving it a wide berth. He continues to the food bowl. He eats. He drinks. He ignores the pair of blue eyes burning into his back. Night falls. The energy of the tiny intruder finally runs out. The battery dies. 1 minute, it is running in circles. The next minute, it collapses. It falls asleep right in the middle of the hallway. Sprawled out. Vulnerable. The house finally returns to silence. The older cat begins his patrol. He checks the door. He checks the window. And then he comes to the hallway. He stops at the sleeping form. He looks down at the kitten. It is breathing fast. Huff, huff, huff. Its paws are twitching, dreaming of catching the string. The older cat lowers his head. He sniffs the kitten. It smells of the house now. The smell of the strange place is fading. It is beginning to smell like family. He sees the tiny ears. He sees the soft fur. He remembers. He remembers being small. He remembers the giants. He remembers the fear and the excitement. He does not cuddle the kitten. Not yet. That would be unseemly. But he does something else. He sits down, just a few feet away. He positions himself between the kitten and the front door. He curls his tail around his paws. Sleep, little idiot, he thinks. I will watch the door. I will watch the shadows. You just grow. The older cat closes his eyes halfway. He is no longer just the king. He is now the mentor, the teacher. Tomorrow, the lessons will begin. Lesson 1: How to nap in the sunbeam without moving for 3 hours. Lesson 2: Which furniture is for scratching and which is for sleeping. Lesson 3: How to stare at a human until they give you cheese. But for tonight, there is only silence. 2 hearts beating in the hallway. 1 fast. 1 slow. The past and the future. The kingdom is changing, but the peace remains. The chaos of the kitten has settled into silence. The little apprentice, exhausted by his own energy, has retreated to the shadows of the hallway. But the king, the old master, remains awake. Or at least, partially awake. He is not in the armchair tonight. The armchair is soft, but tonight his bones ache with the dampness of the coming rain. Tonight, he needs something stronger. He needs the source. He is lying on the heavy wool rug, directly in front of the fireplace. The great roaring fire, which the humans built earlier in the evening, has finished its dance. The yellow flames that licked the chimney bricks have vanished. The crackling sparks that flew like tiny stars have faded. What remains is the heart of the fire, the embers. To the human eye, the fire is dying. But to the cat, the fire has just reached its perfect state. The logs, once rough and bark covered, have transformed. They are now blocks of pure, glowing crystal, deep red, pulsing orange, and veins of white ash running through them like marble. He watches them pulse, glow, dim, pulse, glow, dim. The light is not steady. It breathes. It moves with the flow of air, invisible drafts that feed the oxygen to the hungry wood. The heat coming from these embers is different from the hot air vent. The vent is a rushing wind. But this is radiant heat. It is silent. It is heavy. It travels through the air in waves, like sunlight underwater. It hits his fur. It does not just warm the surface. It penetrates. It sinks deep, past the gray guard hairs, past the soft undercoat, right into the skin, right into the old joints. He stretches his legs out towards the grate. His paws are so close that they are almost touching the metal screen. The pads of his feet, usually cool and leather-like, become hot, soft, pliable. He spreads his toes, letting the heat warm the spaces between them. The sound of the embers is the quietest sound in the world. It is not a crackle. It is a tinkle, like tiny glass bells breaking far away. Every few minutes, a log settles. The structure of the wood gives way. Shift. Crumble. Hiss. A shower of tiny golden sparks rises up and disappears into the soot. The cat does not flinch. He knows the rhythm. He knows the fire is contained behind the mesh. It is a caged beast. And he is the keeper, enjoying its warmth. The light in the room is magical. There are no lamps on. The corners of the room are lost in absolute blackness. Only the space around the hearth is illuminated. It is a cave. A primal cave. The cat's fur glows in the red light. He looks like a lion resting on the savannah under a setting sun. He rolls onto his back. This is a position of ultimate trust, exposing his soft white belly to the room, but mostly exposing it to the heat. He twists his spine, a slow, luxurious spiral. His head is upside down. He looks at the fire from this new angle. The world is inverted. The ceiling is the floor. The fire is hanging from the sky. His eyes begin to close. The red light filters through his eyelids, creating a warm, pink darkness inside his mind. He is not dreaming of hunting. He is not dreaming of food. He is floating in a sea of warmth. The smell is intoxicating. The smell of wood smoke, oak, hickory, a sharp, masculine scent, mixed with the smell of the ash, dry and dusty. It is the smell of winter survival. The smell that says, we are safe from the cold. He feels a vibration in the floor. The human walks by. Quietly, the human stops. They look at the fire. They look at the cat. They pick up the poker, the iron tool. Clink. They gently push a log back into the center. A burst of heat flares up. The cat sighs. H. Thank you, he thinks. That was the spot. The human places the screen back and leaves. The cat is alone again with the fire. Time loses its meaning here. Is it midnight? Is it 3 a.m.? The embers fade slowly, turning from bright orange to deep crimson to a dull cherry red. The white ash creeps over them, like a blanket of snow covering the burning ground. But the heat remains. The bricks of the fireplace have absorbed the energy all night. They will radiate warmth until the morning sun rises. The cat knows this. He is resting against a battery that will not run out. His breathing is shallow, slow. Inhale, exhale. The dust motes, dancing in the red light, slow down too. Everything is heavy. Everything is still. He is healing. The heat is melting away the stiffness, melting away the years. In this light, he is ageless. He is just a spirit of fire wrapped in fur. He twitches an ear, listening to the wind howling down the chimney.
Woo!
It sounds angry. It wants to come in. It wants to extinguish the light. But it cannot. The chimney is narrow. The fire is strong. The guardian is here. He curls back up, turning into a tight ball, protecting his nose with his tail. The donut returns. He is a closed circuit of warmth. The embers are almost gone now. Just a few faint eyes looking back at him from the dark. The room grows cooler, but he is already asleep, deep in the heavy sleep of the satisfied. The fire has done its job. It has passed its life into the room, into the walls, into the cat. The embers in the fireplace have finally turned to ash. The red pulse of the hearth has faded into the gray dark of the night. The room is cooler now. The shadows have reclaimed the corners. But the warmth has not left the kingdom entirely. It has merely moved. It has concentrated in one single spot. Our old companion has left the rug. He has sought out the highest form of comfort, not the heat of the fire, not the softness of the chair, but the living heat of the giant. He is lying on the human's lap. The human is sitting on the sofa, still, silent, perhaps reading a book, perhaps just staring into the dark. The cat is curled in the valley between the legs, a heavy, solid weight. He is waiting. He knows the ritual. He knows that the hand is coming. And then it happens. The hand, large and heavy, descends from the sky. It does not strike. It covers. It lands, with the weight of a cloud, upon the head. It covers the ears. It covers the eyes. The cat pushes his head up into the palm. Press. The friction begins. The fingers, strong and familiar, begin to move. They find the spot right behind the ears. The sweet spot. Scritch, scritch, scritch. The fingernails gently rake across the skin. It sends a shiver of pleasure down the spine. A tiny electric current that releases every knot of tension in the body. The cat's eyes roll back. His eyelids flutter shut. He opens his mouth slightly. His jaw goes slack. He is no longer a predator. He is no longer a guardian. He is a vessel of pure sensation. The hand moves down. It traces the line of the neck, feeling the thick ruff of fur that has grown over the winter. It moves over the shoulders, feeling the shoulder blades moving under the skin, like smooth stones sliding under a silk sheet. The stroke is long and slow, from the top of the head down the spine, over the hips, to the very tip of the tail. It is a continuous wave. The cat arches his back into the touch, rising up to meet it, trying to make the contact last just a millisecond longer. And then the sound begins. It starts in the chest, a small, fluttering vibration, and then it grows. It expands. It fills the throat. It fills the room. Purr. Ruyuumble. It is not just a sound. It is a physical force. The vibration travels through the cat's body and into the human's legs. It is a feedback loop. The human pets the cat. The cat purrs for the human. The purr calms the human. The human pets slower. They are connected. A closed circuit of peace. The hand stops moving for a moment. It just rests there, heavy on the cat's flank. This is the heavy hand. The feeling of absolute security. The cat takes a breath. He feels the weight of the hand rising and falling with his ribs. He knows that as long as this hand is here, nothing can hurt him. No dog can enter. No thunder can strike. No vacuum cleaner can scream. The hand is the shield. The fingers begin to move again. This time, to the chin. The thumb rubs underneath the jaw. Rub, rub, rub. The cat stretches his neck out, lifting his chin high, exposing his throat. This is the ultimate trust. He leans his whole weight into the thumb. If the hand were to move, he would fall over. But the hand holds him. He remembers this hand. He remembers it holding him when he was a kitten and fit in one palm. He remembers it feeding him, opening the cans. He remembers it parting the fur to check for fleas. He remembers it soothing him after the scary trip to the vet. This hand writes the history of his life. The room is silent except for the purr. Purr huff. Purr huff. Occasionally, a tiny squeak escapes with the breath. A sound of pure bliss. The human shifts slightly. The cat grumbles. A short, low protest. Do not stop. The human chuckles. A vibration in the chest that the cat feels against his side. You're a good boy, Augie, the human whispers. The voice is low, rumble-like. It matches the purr. The cat does not understand the words, but he understands the tone. He understands the frequency. It is the frequency of love. The stroking slows down, becoming gentler. Just the tips of the fingers now, brushing the tips of the fur, creating tiny sparks of static electricity. Snap. A blue spark in the dark. Neither of them minds. It is just the magic escaping. The cat feels his body turning to liquid. He is melting into the lap. His legs are dangling off the side. He has no structure left. He is just a puddle of warm gray fur. The purr begins to slow down. It becomes softer, deeper. The rhythm of the sleep is taking over. The hand stops moving completely. It rests, warm and protective, over his back. The cat does not ask for more. This is enough. He tucks his nose into the crook of the human's elbow, buried in the scent of the one he owns. It smells of soap, and fabric, and skin. It is the smell of home. His eyes are glued shut. He could not open them if he wanted to. The darkness is warm. The world is small, just the size of this lap. He lets out a final, long sigh. H. The tension leaves the very tip of his tail. He is anchored. The connection is complete. Two species. One moment. In the quiet kingdom, this is the highest law. To touch and be touched. To love and be safe. The seasons have turned one last time. The winter snow has come and gone. The spring flowers have bloomed and wilted. And now a deep, quiet winter has settled, not just outside, but inside the bones of the king. The patrol is finished. There is no desire tonight to check the front door. There is no need to inspect the kitchen tiles. The map of the territory, which he spent a lifetime drawing in his mind, is complete. Every corner is known. Every shadow is named. The work is done. He lies on the old armchair. The velvet cushion, which has held him for so many years, feels softer tonight than it ever has before. It feels like a cloud, like it is gently rising up to meet him, to hold him one last time. His body, once a coiled spring of muscle and energy, is now heavy. A pleasant heaviness, like sinking into a warm bath. The stiffness in his joints, the ache that has been his companion for the last few years, begins to fade. It is being replaced by a numbness. A gentle, spreading silence that moves from his paws up to his chest. He opens his eyes, just a slit. The room is dim, but he can see the dust motes dancing in the moonlight. They are moving slower than usual. Everything is slowing down. The ticking of the clock on the wall. Tick, tock. It sounds far away, like a heartbeat fading into the distance. He hears the breathing of the house. He hears the furnace humming in the basement. a low, steady lullaby. He hears the soft, rhythmic breathing of the new kitten asleep on the rug. He listens to it. It is a strong breath, fast, full of life. Good, he thinks. The watch continues. The post is not abandoned. He looks at the human. The human is sitting on the floor, beside the chair. They are not reading. They are not watching TV. They are just being there. A hand rests on his flank. It is the heavy hand, the anchor. But tonight, the hand is trembling slightly. He feels a drop of water fall onto his fur. Plip. It is warm. It is salty. He wants to purr, to comfort the giant. But the engine is too tired. The rumble is just a vibration deep in his throat. It is okay, he signals with a slow blink. It is okay to rest. The memories begin to flow. Not as sharp images, but as feelings. He feels the warmth of the first sunbeam he ever caught. He tastes the richness of the Thanksgiving turkey. He hears the crinkle of the paper bag fortress. He feels the rough bark of the oak tree under his young claws. These are not things he has lost. These are things he keeps. They are the treasures he is taking with him. The room begins to expand. The walls seem to dissolve. The ceiling opens up. The darkness is not scary. It is not the cold darkness of the vet's carrier. It is the warm, velvet darkness of the space under the bed. It is the darkness of the perfect hiding spot. He feels a pull, a gentle, magnetic pull, not towards the kitchen, not towards the window, but towards the light. There is a sunbeam waiting for him, a sunbeam that never moves, that never fades into evening, that never turns cold. He takes a breath. Inhale. It is a shallow breath, but it smells of everything he loves. It smells of the old wool rug. It smells of the fireplace embers. It smells of the human's hand. He lets it out. Exhale. And with the breath, he lets go of the weight. He lets go of the duty. He lets go of the house. His eyes close. The silver moonlight turns to gold. He is running now. He is young again. His legs are strong. His fur is sleek. He is chasing a moth that flies up and up and up into a sky that goes on forever. The armchair is empty, but the king has found his throne. The eternal nap has begun. And so, the history of the quiet kingdom turns a page. The small guardian who walked these floors has become part of the house itself. A spirit of comfort lingering in the warm spots and the sunbeams. Thank you for listening to his story. Thank you for walking with him from the basket to the stars. If you are still awake, know that you are safe. The patrol has been passed on. The night is guarded. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And drift into your own quiet dream. Good night.